endlessly on organization, motivation. We got to meet co-directors Sergeant Christine and Sergeant Jim of the Mohawk Valley Police Academy. We also got to take a quick look at their storage space that needed to be decluttered and organized. And boy, did it need our help. Okay, well, the Declutter team is here and we are ready to rock and roll and get this room in tip-top shape for Sergeant Christine and Sergeant Jim. Bets, what do you think?
Oh my gosh, we really need to get started.
Yeah, there's a lot to do. And the most important thing is we want to go through, if they use it, it needs to stay in here. If they use it, but they use it elsewhere, like in their personal office, it's going to go there. If it's junk and we don't need it anymore, it's going to go. Now, we've already located some big pieces of metal objects that actually have been around for quite some time, and we are calling our good friends at Empire Recycling and ConfiData, and they're going to come pick those up. Unfortunately, not today, but in a day or two, we're going to help you get rid of some of that metal and those big things. Like, there's a big machine we're going to talk about in a few minutes called the FATS, F-A-T-S, and we're going to get rid of that. It's been hanging around for a long time, and it's going to free up space for you. So the goal today is to make it as easy as possible for them to get the things they need quickly, and more importantly, put them back, because as you see, what happens in between training, things just get shoved in places and it really makes them inefficient. So we talked about the helmets that are on the floor, because they're like the elephant in the room. We're all tripping over them. So let's talk about these. What's going on with these guys?
They're our pets. They just sit here and play. Well, we use them probably once a year towards the end of the academy for riot control.
Okay.
And at the end of this past academy, they never made it back to its proper home, which is at the Utica Police Department.
Okay.
That was in November.
That was November. Okay.
We've been a little busy since then.
Yes.
But that's where they're usually stored, the helmets and the batons that go with them.
Okay.
So.
Well, I have an idea for those, because our goal is to keep this area very open and clean and nothing on the floor, maybe a few things tucked underneath, but we want this to be open. So what we were thinking is, a lot of what's up here, I know, you are not sure what's there, so we're going to go up and we're going to see, get everything down, and then what I'd like to do is store those up there. You have an academy session in a couple of weeks where they're going to be using these. Then I'm going to be following up with you, Sergeant Jim. We're going to call you in a couple of weeks, and what I'd like you to do is take them down and bring them back to the Utica Police Department. And I may even have to call Chief Williams just to make sure they make it there. I'm teasing.
I'll get them done.
Yeah, I think we should, because the thing is, it's taking up a lot of room. It's really a tripping hazard. I mean, we've all been like tripping over them since we got in here. So our goal is we're going to get everything down first, put these up, and then we're going to really strategically go through every area. And the things that you use most often, there are some things that you said you use a lot. Let's store them in the front. Right now, they do a lot of handouts when they're teaching the cadets, and they're all the way in the back. And so they had to like jump over a maze to get to them. So we're going to move and relocate them to this front cabinet right here. So we've got a lot to do. We're going to work really hard, but we're going to have a lot of fun.
This is, and actually, I don't even know what year this is.
This is old.
Before my time, but yeah, it's a radar unit. So that
they're like
they would
they're
mount
about 3 ounces now. This
is,
feel this thing.
This would sit on the dash.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, and that would be mounted. Like they could put it on the window.
Yeah. So is there a reason to save this? Like, would the chief want it like to just?
Honestly, I don't even know whose it is.
Okay, you know what? This can go to Empire Recycling. Or do you want to save it?
I think I am the worst person to ask. I am a pack rat.
Okay.
And I think everything has a sentimental value.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. And should this go back to UPD and they'll put it somewhere? But I don't want it in a closet.
No, I think it'd be a good display piece. To say like, this is what we used to use.
And how far it's progressed.
Okay, so guess what? Your car's going to be really full today. And he's going to bring things back to the Utica Police Department. So Sergeant Jim is a social Sally. He likes all of his, he's very sentimental. He likes all of his stuff out around him, so we'll call you Social Steve instead of Social Sally.
I like it.
Okay.
I am I am that. You got to see my house.
Yeah, it's very organized.
No, my wife says, get rid of it. I'm like, well, this is the first movie we went to see. I have our first movie ticket. That's everything.
They have a lot of paper, training material, and we want to move that to this cabinet. So what we're going to do is empty out this first cabinet, bring all the paper over there, and work our way like back. Okay, our next step is we're going to clean all of these down, then dry them, because you don't want to put paper on something that you've just cleaned with a wipey. We're going to take all these labels off and put new labels so that they know exactly where all their paper and trading materials are.
So we found a lot of clothing items in one of the cabinets here, and it's just a mixture of things, but it's all used for the recruits. So that stuff is going to get all grouped together and put into one bin. And then we have some other things that are used for maybe door prizes and other items for clothing that we're going to split apart and try to organize it the best we can.
Okay, so for people that have trouble letting go, we know in your home that happens, but believe it or not, you see it with Sergeant Jim, he's really sentimental about some of these things. So you really need to ask yourself, am I going to use it? Do I really need it? And if it is just for sentimental value, it should be displayed so that you can enjoy it. You don't want to save things that you say have sentimental value and stick them in a box somewhere, because then they really are just clutter. Okay, we're making piles. This actually, the monitor we have to get rid of separately, but we're making a pile of all things that are going to be able to be picked up by our good friends at Empire Recycling. We have a small pile of things that are going to go into Sergeant Christine and Sergeant Jim's office, and we're just keeping like things together and getting that room in tip-top shape. Don't go away. You won't want to miss this awesome transformation. Follow us on Pinterest at Declutter Coach.